as I'm getting up there in my older years.
Hey y'all, Joefer here, the cranky old gay guy. Oh, it is Friday, the 7th of February, 2025. And today I'm going to be talking about you're gay and retired, find your purpose. That's right, finding your purpose in retirement. Have I found mine? I don't know. You tell me. I have been reading up on this subject for several days, numerous articles I'm finding online, and I have congealed all of the information that I have input up here and came up with the steps or tips. I guess they're not really steps. They're points. I've got 6 points here to help you find your purpose. And I'm going to follow these points and perhaps I'll find my purpose as well. And by the way, does this make me look successfully older wearing plaid? It seems that old guys always wear plaid, right? I think so, at least in the Northwest. But young guys wear plaid too, just different. This is more like a grandpa, oversized grandpa quilted kind of, yeah. It's from Weimar, so that tells you a lot right there. Because who shops at Weimar? Senior citizens. I've been shopping there for years. Okay, finding your purpose. Now I'm going to put on these readers. I think these are 1.5s. I hope the glare is not too much. And this is because I actually took notes, and they're over here, so I'm going to be doing this a lot, because I don't want to hold a piece of paper right up here. So finding your purpose and why it's important. Depending on what your purpose is, it could potentially keep you physically active, which is going to be good for your body. And it's going to definitely keep you cognitively healthy. This is the first point. Because when you have a purpose, your mind is working. You're not just letting it veg while you sit and watch opinion news shows or something like that, or Jerry Springer repeats. Your mind is working because you're thinking about what that purpose is and you're trying to fill it. When you have a purpose, again, it's quite possible that you're going to keep your body's going to be in better shape. You're going to put on less weight. And that is not something I can prove, but that is something that was mentioned in like 7 different articles. And I'm guessing the reason being is that when you know what your purpose is and you're setting out to do it, your mind isn't thinking about eating or just sitting and watching TV. And those are the times when, especially sitting and watching TV at night, for me, that's when I eat. And that is, when you are focused on something else, you're more likely not to do that. It's quite possible that you're also going to not be as lonely because you have a reason to be here now. And there's a good chance that whatever that reason is going to bring you into contact with other people. So you're not going to be as lonely as you might be without a purpose. It doesn't mean you're going to have a relationship with somebody. That's not what the purpose is promising you. Unless your purpose is, maybe your purpose is to be a matchmaker. And during that matchmaking process, you find someone for yourself. I mean, that's a possibility too. Not saying it's going to happen, but it is a possibility. If you notice that I have halos in my eyes, that's because I'm using a ring light so I don't look totally gray and washed out. When you have a purpose, you are probably going to have better body strength as well because you're not letting yourself go. So as you age, for a lot of people, they have they're not as balanced as they used to be, so they could tumble over, and oftentimes too their bone strength isn't what it used to be, and you have porous bones and brittle bones. When you stay physically active, and again, your purpose is going to have you doing something, so you are being physically active. That's also going to help with your bone strength and your balance and your agility and just your body as a whole. The last thing of the first point, which is why you need to find your purpose, is that can also help you live a longer life and a happier life because you're doing something. Too many retirees that I have seen on TV, movies, and my own relatives, they retire and 6 months later they're dead because suddenly they've had this schedule and something to do. They had a reason to be here and reason to do something, to get up in the morning. And they've done this for 60 years or 50 years. And then suddenly they wake up and they don't know what to do. They don't know where to go. And they spiral into this vegetative, they just crumple and they give up because they don't have a reason to be here. And I think that's where this stems from. Again, everything I've read, none of it says this is why. They just say these are possible outcomes. And that's why I'm telling you that ahead of time, because I'm not the one, I kind of believe this, but I'm not the one telling you that this is fact because I didn't do studies. I just read a lot. The internet is incredible. You can read anything that you want, and a lot of it might not be true. But with this, I think it's okay. Okay. Oh, point number 2. You got to be yourself. Accept yourself. If you are a late stage gay, meaning that you didn't come out until after retirement or at an older age, that's great that you did. And I hope that now you accept yourself fully, because you have to look inside and really reflect on you before you know exactly what you want to do with the rest of your life. Do you know what I mean? If you dance around the house and you're a jazz dancer or something and you're incredible, but no one sees it because you don't want them to think that you're gay, because evidently gay or jazz dancers are gay. This is just a scenario I'm putting together. No one says that all jazz dancers are gay, but I'm sure that some of them are. So if you can accept yourself and be honest with yourself that you were born to be a jazz dancer, even at age 65, and you can accept that, then great. Maybe that's your purpose. You're going to share your dance with the world. So do it. Do it. If someone wants to call you gay, let them call you gay. You have found your true self and accepted it. And that's really important to get on with things. Once you're honest with yourself, it's going to also help you expand your horizons. You might see things in the past. You were a jazz dancer in your living room. You couldn't take it anywhere. Well, now you can take it out to a dance club and dance your butt off. And it's going to expand your horizons. Someone might come over and dance with you or ask you to join their dance group. Or maybe you're really, really great and they want you to teach them how to dance. You've opened up another section of your life that you didn't know was there. And you did it because you looked at yourself, you reflected it inward, and you accepted yourself. So that's where that comes from. Things to think about. Once you retire, you are no longer bound by the rules and regulations of your previous career. Perhaps you worked in finance and you wore a suit and tie and you had to act prim and proper all the time because reputation was everything. Well, now you're not in finance. You're a retired individual. So you're not tied to those rules anymore. If you want to wear jeans and a t-shirt, to church or to the grocery store or being to a bank, do it. No one's telling you can't. And if they are, you can say, hey, it's not up to you, it's up to me. You're not bound by that anymore. You also have to look and think about what makes you unique. Everyone's unique in their own way. It's just sometimes they don't recognize that about themselves. So you want to examine that, because that's going to come into play with whatever it is that your purpose in life is. When I say purpose in life, it's what is your purpose here on this planet, right here, right now. That's the question that we're trying to answer. You believe in God. What does God want you to do here on earth? If you're not into religion and maybe you're spiritual, what does your spiritual energy guide or whoever want you to do? If you believe there's nothing after this, then think about this. Why were you born and what are you doing here? Because again, that's what we're trying to figure out. Look for your uniqueness. That's going to help out a bit. Think about what is important to you. Is having a lot of money important? Is being happy important? Is just being healthy important? Because this is also going to steer you in the direction of what your life purpose is. You're retired now and you've always, your heartstrings were always tugged by someone, let's say, who's suffering from a mental deficiency, but you've never been in a position to do anything about it. Maybe you don't have a lot of money, you can't donate to that cause, but now might be the time that you go and take a class so you can assist people with mental difficulties. Now, what do you fear the most in life? Maybe that's going bald. Maybe it's going broke. Maybe it's losing your house and living on the street. Whatever that is, you need to examine that internally and find out why that's a problem and how to avoid it. It's going to help with your purpose according to this list. Next is, what do you want from life and how do you want to be remembered by others? This is a legacy question. If you want to be remembered as someone who helped everyone, well, then go out and help everyone. You got to walk the walk, walk the talk. Walk the walk. It's a saying. But you need to act in a way that's going to bring this about because it's up to you. People aren't just going to remember you the way that you necessarily want to be remembered unless you've actually given them a reason to. The third point, examine your uniqueness. We mentioned this just a little bit earlier. And ask yourself what it is that you have that you could possibly share with other people. Now, if you grew up and were kind of told, don't be self-absorbed, you're like everybody else, you're not special, etc. Maybe you're drawing a blank. Ask those around you that you care for, you care about, friends, family, neighbors, and say, I would like to know what you think my unique qualities are, because others see them. Maybe you're really good with a hammer and nails. Maybe you're really good at trimming trees. Maybe you're really good at singing in the shower and they can hear you out on the street, but you don't realize this. Let others tell you what that is, and that's going to help out in determining what your purpose in life is. Number 4, this is the fourth point. You need to trim your tree. And when I say that, I'm talking about you. You are the tree. You need to cut off the dead wood. You got those relationships that are just dead in the water and they're toxic, they're rotting away. Cut them loose. Be free. You've had them for too many years. You are starting over. This is a new chapter in your life. Life is all about change. Make these changes. Next, do you have a bug infestation? That's right. I mean, contacts, people in your life that come and go, but when they come, they just drain you. They're like the energy vampires I mentioned in a previous video. They just suck the life out of you. Yet, being a tree, you feel obligated to house these bugs because, you want to get along with everyone. Well, those are not bugs that you choose to hang out with. Those are bugs that you feel obligated to house. So I'm telling you right now, get rid of them. Spray yourself if you have to. Just snip them in the bud. Get rid of them. Be around. This is another one. What's part of this is, as a tree, you need to get sun to grow. So make sure that you surround yourself with other happy trees. You don't want negative trees in your world. You want to be around trees that build you up and that you feel energized from, not the trees that are like the insects that drain you. Be good to yourself. And what I mean by this is curate a group of people that you, from your acquaintances, friends, family, etc., and curate the group that makes you feel good. And those who don't make you feel good and just bring you down, see less of them. Might sound cruel, but it's going to make you feel much better. And again, you have a limited number of years left. You need to do what you want to do and how you need to do it. And you need to do it now because you don't know how much time you have left. No one does. But the older you get, if you look at the math, the less time that you have. So if you want to complete something, getting it done, you need to act now. And if that means getting these people out of your life, do it. Just trim them out. Okay. What other trees do you look up to? And again, when I'm talking trees, I'm talking about people. Do you look up to a celebrity? Do you look up to someone in your social circle as being successful? And I want to be like that, or I always wanted to be like that. Well, now is the time for you to emulate that. That's right. If that person has always been great at public speaking and you were always in awe, thinking that they should be doing TED Talks or something, well, emulate that. Practice. Get out there. That might be your purpose. And what you're going to be doing is maybe you're going around educating the community. Focus on a particular part of the community that moves you. Maybe that's LGBTQ youth. Go to the local gay and lesbian resource center, or the, what do they call it? It's like a gay meeting place, but it's not a bar. Ours is called the Q Center, but I don't know what it's actually. It's like a resource, and it's a space where queers meet. But in your city, it might be called the Gay and Lesbian Center or something like that. And it's specifically geared to assist and answer questions that those communities have. They take grants. They're all, for the most part, nonprofit. And when you have an issue and you can't find an answer, that's a really good resource, is to contact one of them. If you don't have one in your city, go online, find one in another city, and call them. Okay? Cultivate your passions. If you have a passion for baking cakes, bake cakes. If you have a passion for writing, write. If you have a passion for short storytelling, write down some short stories and go tell them. You need to cultivate what makes you feel good inside. And by doing so, you'll discover that maybe that is your purpose. And also remember that passions are in reference to you. Your purpose is not only in reference to you because it makes you feel something, but it's what others see as your purpose. If your purpose is to educate and you're going around talking and that's making you feel incredible, well, that's your passion and it's also your purpose. But others will see that as your purpose. So they're similar, but they're not the same. And I think I mentioned them 2 or 3 times in this, and I just want to clear that up. The last point is to remember yourself. Help yourself, self-care. And when I say help yourself, it's not just self-care. That's important. Mental health as well. You know, if you're overstressed or anxious, relax, meditate, talk to someone if you need to. But you're helping yourself by helping others. You are at a stage in life where you have perhaps more time than you've ever had free in your life. You don't know what to do with it, but you want to help someone. Go to a senior center if you feel comfortable working with people around your age or older, and volunteer. You're helping out. If you, let's say you were a math teacher at one time, well, now might be a time when you could tutor students And I'm not saying get paid for it, but maybe talk to other parents in the neighborhood who kids are having trouble and just say, hey, for 30 minutes twice a week or 3 times a week, we can gather at the library and I will tutor X amount of kids. Or if kids have some really problems with their English papers or whatever your subject is, maybe that's what you can do. And it doesn't have to be kids. If you, probably not math, because I don't know a lot of adults who really care that much about it anymore. But let's say you were a poet or a writer, you could also instruct older folks for adult sessions where you could meet somewhere and go over the ins and outs of poetry and what sentence structures are and things like that and help them out. Or maybe now is the time that you go out and you do open mics because you think that you're a comedian. We all think we're comedians. But you can do that. You have the time and you have the energy. This is now, your purpose is to become a comedian as a senior. Great, that's a niche that's not a lot of that out there. I mean, there are a few, but I can't think of any unless they were comedians early on and they've been that way for years that have just broke into the scene late in life. But if you think you're funny and your friends think you're funny, give it a shot. Maybe that is your purpose. Okay, with all of this, I hope it wasn't too convoluted. I was taking this information from many, many sources. And have I written any of those sources down? No, I didn't. I just took notes here and there and then reread them and put them all together. But I will go over this list myself and try to discover what my purpose is. I know it's going to be sharing. I don't know exactly what just yet. I don't know if it's what I'm doing right now, or if it's sharing in writing, or if it's sharing on Canvas. I don't know what that is just yet because I'm really drawn to all three. Okay, that's all I got for you today. I'm going to let you go. Again, this is Joe for the Cranky Old Gay Guy. Be sure if you like this, hit the like button. Tell your friends. And I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.
As I'm getting up there in my older years, I'm feeling my age now and fearing my fears. I'm no longer just a cog in the wheel. I'm wondering now, just what's the deal? What do I do now? Why am I here? What is my purpose? What do I hold dear? I need a reason to carry on. That's why I'm singing this purposeful song. I'm looking inward, just what do I see? It's a fabulous being looking back at me. How can I help others? What can I do? Share the uniqueness that is me before my life